everyone, Johnny B here with devslopes.com. Welcome back to class. In this lesson, we are going to get our project set up. All right, so we are going to go through what we need to do to get Firebase into our project, as well as a few assets and some other things just to get set up. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I got a new project here that we're going to get started, and I'm going to name it Random, R-N-D-M. All right, just like all the cool kids are doing, we're taking out the vowels. And we're going to put this here on our desktop. So I'm just going to change the path right here. Okay, and we want to work in Kotlin for this course. So include Kotlin support and say next. And we're going to work with API 19 as our minimum and say next. And then we're going to go with a basic activity right here and say next. All right, that looks good. Main activity is fine for our name, and we're going to say finish. All right, so now we got our project here on the desktop, and that's going to build here. And let's see here, once it gets done, I'll just pull it over. All right, we're gonna wait for this to finish up building, and I'll be right back in a second. Okay, so here we have our brand new, fresh project. Always exciting to start out with a brand new project. And well, let's get started. What are we gonna do? We need to work with Firestore. And to work with Firebase and Firestore, we need to have a few prerequisites here in Android Studio. But basically, if you're working with Android Studio 2.3 or above, right now we're in the preview beta for Android Studio 3. And if you're working with API levels around Nugget, then you should be fine. All right. So specifically, your emulators, they need to be working with Google Play services. So if we open up our AVD manager, and if you see here on any of your targets, if you see here that it says Google APIs, then you're good for that. All right. So you need to be working with emulators that have Google APIs, specifically Google Play services, or if you're on an actual device, make sure that it has Google Play services installed. All right, and yeah, so that's all we're gonna do here. Next thing we're gonna do is we're going to jump straight into our Firebase console and start a new project and get everything set up there. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna open up Safari. All right, so here we are at console.firebase.google.com. All right, so this is the starting point for any new Firebase app that you may be creating. All right, so we are going to say add project, and we're going to give it a name. I'm gonna say RNDM. And this is going to be in the United States, and I'm going to say create project. And this will take just a little bit to build, and when it's finished, I'll be right back. Okay, so once it's finished building, you'll be in here in your overview dashboard, all right? And you can see that we got a whole bunch of stuff that Firebase offers. Just check out all of these tools and SDKs that they offer, from analytics, authentication, database, storage, hosting, cloud functions, notifications, and more. So there is so much to explore and discover with Firebase. But today in this course, we're going to be focusing on the brand new Firestore database, right? So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see right here, add Firebase to your Android app. So we're going to click here, and we're just going to follow along with this nice little wizard, all right? So first thing we're going to need is the Android package name. All right, so we can get that right from our Android project that we just created. Let's see here in our manifest. Let's see here, right here, package name. com.johnnyb.random. For me, whatever you named yours, you can get yours from right there. So I'm going to paste that right here, and we can just give that a nickname. I'm just going to do RNDM again. And then right here we have it needs the debug signing certificate SHA-1. All right, so this is optional. This is only required if you're doing things like dynamic links, invites, Google sign-in, or phone number supported with auth. Okay, so for this project, we don't really need it, but for completeness, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. All right, so what you got to do is open up your terminal, and we're going to type in this command. It's a little bit long, all right, but I'm going to show it to you here. So what you're going to do is you're going to say key tool space dash export cert space dash list space dash v space dash alias space Android debug key space dash key store space tilde, and so this is right above the tab button, and then you hold Shift and press it, and then a /, a period, and then Android/debug dot key store. Oh, not key store, key store. Key store. All right, and then press enter, and it's going to ask you for a key store password, and here you're going to put in Android. Okay, so this is the default for the debug key SHAs. Okay, so we're going to say Android, and then press enter, and then what you're looking for is this one right here that says SHA-1. Okay, so go ahead and copy that and jump back into our Safari, and I'm going to paste that and then say register app. All right, once you do that, the next step is to download the Google services.json file. So I'm going to click on it, and that's going to download to our download files. And so then we're going to jump back into Android Studio, and we're going to add that. So let's see here. We're going to switch to our project view, project, and we want that here at our root app. Okay, so I'm going to open up my downloads folder and just pull that over here. And if you just drag that over into app, just like that, and say OK. Now we have our Google services.json file here. All right, jumping back into Safari, let's see what is next. I'm going to say continue. And so Gradle instructions at our project level build.gradle, we are going to add this line. Okay, so I'm going to copy it and jump into our Android Studio. And let's see here, I'm going to go back into Android view. And here at the project level, here we are going to add class path, com.google.gms google-services. All right, that looks good. I'm going to save that and jump back into our Safari. And on our app level, build.gradle, we're going to copy this, and jumping back into Android Studio, at the very bottom of our build.gradle for the app, we are going to add apply plugin, the Google Services plugin. Okay, I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to sync it and jump back into Safari while that's syncing. And then we're going to say finish. And we are pretty close to done. Just a couple more things to do. So I'm going to jump back into Android Studio. And I guess I could have waited to sync that because we got a couple of more things that we want to add here. All right, so if we go back into Safari, and if we search for Android Firebase dependencies, let's see here, add Firebase to your Android project. I think this is it. If we scroll down here, here we go. We can see the Gradle dependency lines. All right, and we're going to use Firebase Core and Firebase Firestore right here. So these two. So I'm going to copy this one right here. I'm going to copy and jump back into Android Studio. I'm going to say compile and then single quote and paste that. And then I'm going to come back into Safari and I'm going to grab the Firestore. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to say compile and then single quote and paste that as well. Now I'm going to sync that again. All right, looks like that is all synced up. Let's see if that's working. I'm just going to open a main activity real quick, and I'm just going to say something like Firebase Firestore. All right, yeah, so it looks like we have our Firebase dependencies all synced up and ready to use. But first, we're going to just do a little bit of setup here in our project. We're going to add some resources. And let's see here. So here under resources, I'm going to go to drawable. I'm going to right click and say reveal in Finder. Okay, so here's our resources folder. Here's our downloads. I'm going to go to our desktop. Now in one of the first lessons of this course, you should be able to download all of our assets that we have for this. All right, and you'll see here that we have some drawables and some icon launchers, as well as a mockup for our app. All right, so this is the mockup that we're going to be using to kind of reference and see what our app should look like. All right, but right now we're just interested in the resources. All right, so here under resources, I am going to just go ahead and copy these drawables, and then over here I'm going to paste those just like that. And then I'm going to actually delete all of these MIP map folders. Okay, so with all of those selected, I'm going to right click and move to trash. And then over here in our assets, I'm going to copy them and paste them over here. So we're just replacing the existing old icon assets for our project. And then one thing that we're going to need to do is here in our manifest, Android manifest, we're going to need to delete this line because now we're not using a round icon. Okay, so I'm going to delete that and save it. And let's run this just to make sure it's still all working well now that we have added a whole bunch of Firebase SDKs as well as some assets. All right, so I'm going to run this on a Nexus 6. Alrighty, and here is what we got. Let's see if we got the, yeah, we got our icon, so that looks pretty sweet. All right, looks good. All right, let's go ahead and change up the theme a little bit, make it match our aesthetic here. And if you see our mockup, we have a couple of hex values here that represent our primary and accent colors that we're going to be using. So the dark gray is 363636. So let's jump into our values here. Under colors, let's go ahead and change this. So our color primary is now 363636. The primary dark is also 363636. But our accent color is that orange color. And what was it again? F5820C. All right, so that is F5820C. All right, that looks good. All right, so let's run that again and see how that looks now. Ah, much nicer. That looks much more closely to our mockups, all right? All right, so we made some good progress in this video. This was just to set up our project and get it ready to get rocking and rolling with Firestore, all right? So in the following lessons, we're gonna be working more with Firestore specifically. So I hope you're excited for that, and I will see you in the next one.